Welcome back. Wonderful conversation with Eric from Local 10, the face of Local 10, actually. You need to watch him more and more. I really encourage you to do so. Eric, now let's talk about your first day here at Local 10. The first day, sportman, now switching to news.
Yes.
Tell me about the transition.
It was one that I'm grateful to have a fantastic newsroom and staff here at Local 10 to help with the process. I think when you make that move from sports to news, I was a sportscaster for more than 10 years. One of the challenges and one of the things that I was really wanted to make sure that I was doing was treating it with the proper respect, right? I mean, sports is fun. It is something people use for entertainment. But at the end of the day, it is a game. And now you're transitioning to a point where you're talking about things that really impact people, could impact their day, how they set up their day, the safety of their family, the finances, some of the things that are most important to them. And so you want to make sure you're treating that with the proper respect. And the staff of Local 10 is fantastic and certainly help ease the process. And really, they give you opportunities here. And one of the things I love about Local 10 is they give you that chance to learn, to really invest in your craft, and they give you the right guidance along the way too.
So you're the face of the station,
Well, I mean, we got a lot of
one
really
of the
good people
faces,
here.
right?
Yes.
So the community is actively watching you. How important do you think it is for you to be very careful on how you project, what you say on air?
Critical. And you can't just do it from a self-preservation perspective, right? If you really care about the community, if you care about your word having credibility and mattering, then it's essentially important regardless of whether or not it makes you look good or not. And so how you carry yourself is really important. How can people trust you if you are not acting and behaving in a way that would be representative of what the community would want to see? And so we live in an era now where credibility is essential. Every word you say is dissected, and that's okay. Us being forced to be more credible and to be more careful is a very good thing. It's a good thing for journalism, but it also reminds you that it's important to make sure that you are digging for the truth at every opportunity you can and making sure you're coming at it from the perspective of finding the truth, not proving what you want at the end of the day.
So you have to double check
Absolutely.
several times what you want to,
all the time.
The news, obviously. Let's talk about pressure. I know it's a lot of pressure in the newsroom, right? How you handle pressure when you have to go, 5 seconds, you got to go on air, something happened major, and how you deal with that.
Well, there's two worlds that exist, right? I mean, you don't want to be nervous on the air. You want to be comfortable and you want to feel at ease, but in the same breath, you can't be too casual because that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And so for me, and I think for all of us here, the challenge is making sure that we are fully comfortable in what we're talking about. It means doing your homework, doing a lot of reading, doing as much research on the area as you can, but also having that healthy respect for what a live microphone and a red light means. And so I think you combine those two things, and having the edge on both ends is a good thing. Pressure is what you make of it, right? And if you decide that you're going to succumb to it or that you can't handle the moment, then this isn't the right business for you. But if you want to go after that opportunity to be relied on for important information and you can handle both of those things at the same time, then this is a great business.
Every time people look at us on TV, they think about the glamour, they think about the life, the beauty of it, right?
Yes.
But it's a very challenging market.
Yes.
Let's talk about challenge.
Sure.
First from minority, male as well.
Sure.
Age could be a factor in that. How you handling that and what can you share?
I think this business, you need to come into it from more than a perspective of you're going to be famous. I sometimes laugh when people say you're a celebrity. I say you've lowered the classification of celebrity. That's not the point. And that is a byproduct of being seen on television. But in the same breath, you've got to make sure that you're maintaining that standard and digging for truth and accuracy. And there are challenges all along the way. And I think one thing I try and say to young people all the time is that there are going to be an infinite amount of things that are outside of your control, right? Your circumstances, your background, your race, your gender, all these things may hold you down at some point, no matter who you are, where you are. The things you can control: effort, attitude. You need to hammer down on those things that are within your control. And more often than not, you'll start the process of breaking through, but you've got to keep hammering and making sure you're doing the best that you can do.
I always say Local 10 is the reflection of the community in terms of mosaic of culture, diversity.
Sure.
You see everybody here. You have Haitians, you have people from all around the world working here at Local 10.
I love it.
How important do you think that is for you, to be able to work with different backgrounds?
Because all of these voices matter. We can't just come from a broadcast perspective and tell what's happening in this community with only one set of eyes. And so the diversity here at Local 10 is an essential part of why we're able to tell stories, why we're able to get exclusives, why we're able to show people images that no one else can. Because we have eyes and ears in those communities, people who love those communities. And in the same breath, it's one of the reasons I love living here. As a father, it's one of the reasons I love living here. I go to the supermarket with my kids, and by the time we've crossed it, we've heard 4 languages. That's a great thing. That's a great thing for young people. It's a great thing for all of us to remember just how connected we all are, despite sometimes what doesn't look that way.
As anchor, reporter, you always have to evolve. You always have to reinvent yourself. You always have to be brand new every single day when you go on air. You also have to stay connected with the community.
Yes.
You emceeing so many events in the community, Haitian community, all other communities. Sure. Tell me about that experience.
I love opportunities to get out and see, because sometimes you're in the studio and you're discussing things that are happening out there, but you don't know unless you're meeting with people. And if you're meeting with people and bettering an opportunity, be it for the Haitian community, for the Hispanic community, the Cuban community, all of those opportunities are good ones, because again, they connect us, right? They're the lifeblood that make people want to turn on Local 10. Why do they want to trust what we have to say? It's because we went out and met with you and saw what you're going through and listened to your stories and looked you in the eye and said, we'll do our best to make sure you're taken care of. So any opportunity I can to reach out and be engaged in the community, I love it.
Stay with us, Eric. After the commercial break, we'll talk about religion, faith, social media, and many more. You don't want to miss that part. Stay with us.